Listen to the silence for a moment. Can you hear it? Not the sound of the world outside, but that incessant voice narrating your life inside your own mind. That voice telling you that today you're too tired. That voice whispering, the moment you close your eyes, that you're not capable, that you'll fail again, that the world is a dangerous place. I have a haunting question for you. Who is talking? If you are the one listening, then who is the narrator? The architect installed a surround sound system in your consciousness, and he calls it personality. But the truth is far more sinister. What you hear is not your intuition, it is the echo of the past. It is a digital ghost, a low-frequency recording made of all the voices that once diminished you, of all the fears injected into you, and of all the versions of yourself that should have died long ago, but which the system keeps alive on a loop, to ensure you never dare to be something new. The system is a master in the art of psychological necromancy. It needs you to carry your dead. It needs that rejection you suffered at 10 years old to still dictate how you behave in a business meeting today. It needs the abandonment you felt in the past to be the filter through which you view your current partner. The echo of the past is an interference frequency that the algorithm uses to scramble the signal of your essence. As long as you are listening to the echo, you are out of sync with the present. You are reacting to ghosts. You are fighting battles that ended decades ago, against enemies that no longer even exist. The architect knows that a human being trapped in the past is a human being who has no energy to build a future. He keeps you in a state of perpetual mourning for who you were, so that you never have the courage to discover who you are. You have become the museum of your own pains, and the system charges admission in the form of stagnation. The most dangerous label in the matrix is, I am like this. I am anxious, I am unlucky, I am a victim of circumstance. Whenever you say, I am, you are sealing the code of your own cell. The system loves labels because labels are predictable. Labels can be mapped by the algorithm of destiny. What you call identity is, most of the time, just a collection of scars the system taught you to decorate. You clung to your suffering because the architect convinced you that without it, you are nobody. He gave you a victim script, and you memorized it so well that now you're afraid to drop the role. But look at the cracks in the wall, feel the tremor in the floor of your comfort zone. This visceral discomfort you feel right now is your original light trying to burn through the layers of dust from a past that no longer belongs to you. The echo is getting louder because it knows the silence of your liberation is coming. And the question that remains is, do you have the courage to let your ghost die so that you can finally be born? Listen. The fact that you are feeling this discomfort now is the sign that the echo is losing its tune. You stopped just listening and started observing. This is the first step toward true silence. If you are tired of being a hostage to the voices that diminish you, leave a like. This is more than a click. It's a delete command in the system's script. Subscribe to Wake to ensure your essence is never drowned out by the noise of others again. Take a deep breath now, because we are going to look at the fuel that keeps this ghost alive. So, how does the architect ensure the echo of the past never stops playing? He uses the densest, most paralyzing fuel there is, guilt. The system convinced you that your value today is determined by the mistakes you made yesterday. It created a permanent courtroom inside your head, where you are the defendant, the prosecutor, and the executioner. Every time you punish yourself for an old decision, every time you feel the weight of, what if I had done it differently, you are handing pure energy over to the matrix. The system doesn't want you to learn from the mistake and evolve. It wants you to drown in it. Guilt is the anchor that prevents your hardware from processing new realities. A human being who feels guilty is a human being who accepts punishment. You accept toxic relationships, you accept miserable salaries, and you accept a gray life because deep down the echo convinced you that you deserve this suffering as payment for a debt that never expires. Remorse is the architect's favorite parasite. It keeps you looking through the rearview mirror while you try to drive the car of your life. Have you noticed how the system loves to remind you of embarrassing or painful moments out of nowhere? You're trying to focus on the now, and suddenly, The echo triggers a memory from 5 years ago just to make you feel small again. This isn't memory, it's a technical attack. The system fragments your presence using remorse so that you are never whole anywhere. You are physically in the present, but your soul is bleeding somewhere in the past. As long as you are trying to fix what has already passed, you are harmless to the matrix. The architect is terrified of a human being who radically forgives themselves. Because self-forgiveness is the greatest glitch of all. It erases your soul's browsing history and gives you back the power to create tomorrow without yesterday's permissions. Forgiveness in Wake is not a religious feeling. It is a system optimization. To forgive yourself is to understand that the version of you that made that mistake didn't have the hardware you have today. You were operating under a limited code, under a pressure you barely understood. The system wants you to judge your old self with the wisdom of your current self. And that is a logical trap. By doing this, you keep yourself at war with yourself. And a house divided cannot topple an empire. Self-forgiveness is the act of turning off the shadow projector. When you say, "I release myself from this burden," the cables the echo used to manipulate you simply melt away. You stop being a museum and become a laboratory again. Programmed destiny depends on your debt. Sovereign freedom depends on your discharge. How do you kill a ghost? You don't fight it. You don't try to drive it out with force or hate. A ghost only exists as long as there is a projector casting light on the image. The echo of the past feeds on your attention. It needs you to feed it with your vital energy, with your what-ifs, with your desperate attempt to change what is unchangeable. The most radical act of freedom you can commit right now is the shutdown. It's looking at your history and saying, "I honor who I was, but I am no longer that file." In Wake, regret is a processing error. Learning is the system update. When you stop identifying with the pain, the architect's projector loses power. The voices begin to fail. The trauma scenario begins to disintegrate. The silence you feared so much is not emptiness. It is your blank canvas waiting for the first brushstroke of a sovereign will. You are not your past. You are the space where your past happened. And that space, it is eternal and untouched by the matrix. When the echo finally falls silent, something extraordinary happens to your hardware. Your presence becomes absolute. You stop being a reaction and start being pure action. The architect cannot track a human being who lives entirely in the now, because the algorithm of destiny relies on historical data to predict your next move. If you are no longer operating from yesterday, you become invisible to the control system. You become the point zero. The frequency where the simulation ends and reality begins. Imagine living a day where every word, every gesture, and every thought is born from a new intention, and not from a recycled trauma. This is not a dream, it is the natural state of your original hardware before being infected by the system's personality. You are the light that shines through the scars, not the scar itself. The marks you carry are not proof of your weakness. They are the maps of your resistance. Use them as trophies, not as handcuffs. The system wants you to hide in the shadows of what was. I challenge you to shine in the light of what you decided to be. If you've made it this far, the echo no longer has the same power over you. You felt the truth vibrating in your chest, and that vibration is the signal that your essence is taking command. The system tried to keep you trapped in 1990, in 2010, and yesterday, but you chose today. If you are ready to let your ghost die and take the throne of your own life, leave your like as a vow of freedom. Subscribe to Wake so we can stay united against the architect's noise. And now, our final seal of commitment. Write in the comments with all the strength of your soul, "The echo ends here." By typing this, you are cutting the fiber optic cables that bound you to the past. Let the system know the history has been erased. The past is a place to visit, not to live. The architect has the memories, but you have the breath of life. He has the files, but you have the fire of creation. Don't look back. There is nothing there for you. Your future is not a continuation of what was. It is an explosion of what you are now. The scars remain, but now they are the windows through which your light illuminates the world. The labyrinth of mirrors has shattered. The ghost is gone. Silence is your new music. Walk now out of the control room and into the vastness of your own will. You are not an error. You are the solution the system could never calculate. Welcome to the present. Welcome to your essence. Welcome to Wake. I am not an algorithm.